So this is a video that I've been dreading to make because not only because I know. So this is a video I've been dreading to make, not because it's so fantastical that, I don't care if people believe it or not, but because it was traumatizing to me what I experienced. People call it delusions, paranoia, and psychosis, hallucinations, but it was real to me. Starting in 2010, I felt like there are people or I was in a relationship with, or that they said I was married to them even though I didn't know these people. But then in 2020, I had a second break. I did have a first break in 2010. And during my second break, I was curious. I wanted to see if it was just my imagination before, or if there was anything to this whole delusional, what I'm told is delusional, or hallucination of being in a relationship with people. And at first I was just messing around, and I thought, what's the harm just by myself physically? But then it got serious, and I was being sexual with, like I said before in my previous description in my hallucinations, I was being sexual with my imagination, but it got serious because things were happening, and it seemed like it wasn't just my imagination. And even though there was no one physical with me, it felt like, and things were happening that it felt like people were actually experiencing things with me. Like, I don't know if it was like people astral projecting, or if I was just projecting my thoughts into people without knowing it. I thought it was just all my imagination, and I didn't think there was any harm to it. But then there were signs of something being to it, and that people were experiencing things with me, and I knew I had to stop. And I don't know where my mind was at the time. I felt all kinds of emotions, and I saw myself as like voices were talking to me and stuff at the time during my second break in 2020. And I was talking to my, I don't know, just talking with beings, my imagination, I don't know. And conveying that sex wasn't love, that it was just like, it was like an addiction at the time. But I didn't want to be caught up in what I got myself caught up in, and I knew I needed to stop. And then in the winter of 2024, right around Thanksgiving, I was when I realized that it really needed to stop because I was hurting myself, obviously. Just carrying on like nothing was, I don't know, I was suffering from my own experience. But like what happened in 2024 and around Thanksgiving, it totally broke me, where I knew I needed to walk away because it wasn't what I thought it was, even if it was my imagination or hallucinations, because these people were using my gifts against me. They were like, in a sense of some kind of sexual manner, creating changes in the weather. And I've always felt close to the sun and in the rain because I live in the Pacific Northwest, and rain always felt like home. Always playing out in the rain as a child, barefoot in the grass, climbing trees. Where I grew up, and walking around in the grass in the field, and in the sunshine. Summer days were just so much fun. And there was a day where I laid down in the grass, tall grass, and looked up to the sun, and I just felt a real connection with the sunlight, with the sunshine, with the sun itself. Anyways, I walked away from, even if it was an imaginary relationship, because they were hurting people and changing the weather. It got really cold, like one evening in 2024, November, December 2024, and I was like, I don't want to be doing this anymore, and people are going to be hurt, and I knew I was going to be possibly killed from whatever was happening. And like I said in my other video, I had the song of Winter from Tori Amos come to my mind that I've listened to years before. When are you going to love yourself? When are you going to love you as much as I do? And so I turned away from whatever was going on and whatever I created. And I walked away from the sexual impulses and desires because I had to, if I wanted to survive and not hurt people and not hurt myself. I didn't want to live in destruction or cause destruction to my environment and to myself. And I didn't want to allow other people to treat me in a way that was detrimental to my life. And also I didn't want to be like that anymore. Because that's not who I am. That was, like I said, an addiction, a sexual addiction, even if it was just fantasy or something I don't know, being with people that, not physically being with people, sharing myself. With people. I mean, there were some good moments and some interactions that weren't completely sucked into the seduction of, sex. Some of it had meaning, like friendships, or I don't know, some kind of shared experiences. But anyways, November, December, close to December of 2024, when this group, imagined or real, I don't know, of people that I was in a relationship with. So I think, I don't know, they were using my God-given talents, or I don't know what you call them, connections with the earth, with the sun, with nature, and with weather, against me and against my environment. And they were causing it to be cold. And I was afraid that if that continued, they were going to cause not just a winter, but like glaciers to form, the tundras, like instead of global warming, it would have been like freezing of the earth, of the natural world. It would have been more than just a blizzard. That's what I was afraid of, and that's why I walked away. Not just that, but I knew they didn't care about me, and I knew I was wrong to start the connection to begin with. I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm not saying anything, but I believe I am a child of God. I believe that God's forgiven me. I've forgiven myself. I still have a connection to the sun and the earth and weather. And I still pray for people to be healed when I can, or when I feel able to. I don't know what this life will hold, but I believe in angels. I have guardian angels, and that God's watching over me and that He wants me to do what's right. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do what's right. Be someone He's proud of. I just want to continue helping people and helping the earth heal. I know there's lots of crazy stuff going on right now with Iran being bombed and Russia and Ukraine, and feels like madness is everywhere, but I've been given glimpses of hope, glimpses of things to look forward to, and I trust that God will He's working still, working behind the scenes, even though we don't see it and don't know what's coming for us in the future. I know that He's got a plan, and it's being orchestrated daily, moment to moment, minute by minute. And my trust is in God. My trust is in the angels. My trust is in my family, my ancestors on the other side. Knowing that there's a heaven, holding on to hope. I don't want this earth to suffer. I don't want any person to suffer. I don't hold hatred in my heart or anger. I forgive in myself and I forgive in other people. And I just continue to live day to day. Just keep going, because things are changing. And like I've said before, this world is malleable and our thoughts are so strong. I mean, we have the gift of life and death in our words that we speak. So I hope you choose to speak good, to speak life into you, to yourself and your family and friends and the people around you. And I pray that we all learn how to speak life over ourselves and the people around us, our neighbors, even our enemies. And I just hope we can stand together in strength and one day in unity and peace. And I trust that God, all is well, because we're in God's hands. And we all have the ability to speak to Him. And it doesn't have to be with a voice. It could be in our minds and our thoughts. We could think to Him. And just being alive is in His presence, in His light, and His energy, His being. Anyways, it was really hard to speak this truth today. And it's okay if you don't believe me. it just was important for me to say what I needed to say. And I know I didn't say everything, but I said what I needed to say. And I know better days are coming for me and for all of us, because I have faith and trust that it is. That goodness is on its way for us. His goodness is here. We just need to open our eyes to it. Thank you for listening. I love you. God loves you. Believe in yourself. Believe in the power of your mind and your thoughts and your words. And don't doubt it. This world is malleable. And blessings can happen when we least expect them. I'll keep holding on to faith and trust in God. And I hope you do the same.